distorted the Kaaba, and the black stone was removed because of the flood. As you all know, the Arabs, when after it was built and it has taken shape, what really happened? They wanted to fix the black stone in its place. They are warriors. They always like fighting. Just like this clan wants to fight this clan. Most of the notable clans in Makkah then, they all claim that we are the one to fix this black stone because it is a source of honor. It got to a stage where it wanted to resort to what? To fighting. Then they all resolved that, okay, as we don't know how to resolve this issue, what we shall do now is, let's wait. Anybody that just come in now, from now, that person will resolve this problem for us. Immediately after their statement, what happened? The prophet came in. That was before his prophethood, before he was commissioned as a prophet. Immediately he came in. Do you know the name they call him? They call him Khadija Sadiqul Amin. The trustworthy has come. Because all the actions of the prophet before then shows that this man is trustworthy. Then when he came down, they told him what is happening. He said, we want to fix the black stone. But this tribe says they must fix it. This other one says they must fix it. This other one says they must fix it. And it want to resort to fighting. The old prophet said, is this why you want to fight? This morning you want to shed your blood? Okay, don't worry. The case is going to be settled. He said, okay. Each tribe should present one person to represent their tribe. They all presented one to represent their tribe. The Holy Prophet asked for clothes. Then he puts the clothes, the black stone inside the clothes. When he put it inside the clothes, he asked this clan, come, hold here. This clan, come, hold here. This clan. In one cloth, let's assume about 6 clans hold the cloth. He told them, okay, all of you lift it. They lifted it. When it get to a stage where they should put it, the Holy Prophet removed the stone himself and put it there. All of them were so happy that everyone among those tribes contributed in putting the stone in its right place. This is how the prophet was. Like even all these ones were before what? Before he was commissioned as a prophet. One other thing to mention, we can close the chapter, the Islamic era, was what we call Hifl al-Fudul. What is this Hifl al-Fudul? Fudul Alliance. What is this Fudul Alliance? There was this is first international human rights declaration we have, even that time. What happened is that there was a tribe called Zubaydi. Someone came from that tribe, came for commercial activities inside Makkah. They bought what he came with, but they refused to give him money. This man was so enraged, he climbed one of the mountains. He said, Ya Ahl al-Makkah, all the people of Makkah, I came here for business. You bought my goods to give me my money, you refused to give me. Why should I be oppressed? They saw this to be challenge for them. The notable people in Makkah, Bani Hashim, Bani Asad, about 5 of them gathered to make this declaration against oppressors and in support of who? Oppressed. That was where they wrote that, okay, from now onward, nobody should oppress anybody that comes inside Makkah. Anything that does not belong to you, you should not take it, and we are going to fight collectively against anybody that act contrary to this our decision. All this one happened before the prophethood. Then it goes like that. As we all know that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got married to Khadija, the most reliable was that he was 25 years when he married to who? Khadija at the age of 40. According to some riwayah, you may see some differences in riwayah. Khadija was known to be very, very rich in Makkah. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not known to have what? Money. What really happened was that Khadija alayhi salam, as I said, was very rich and she is involved in business. And many things have happened, but she was told that there's somebody whom they know that if she strike deal with that person will never cheat her. Then she was referred to Prophet Muhammad before the prophethood, before the commissioning. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they sit down, they discuss, said, okay, I want to engage you in business to Syria, that is Damascus. So they resolve on certain terms. The first, and somebody was asked to escort them. Whenever the prophet is going on that journey, someone escort them. And the person was so surprised that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one kobo, I use kobo just as an example, one kobo that does not belong to him, he does not take it. When they came back from that journey, the other person that was asked to escort them met Khadija. He told her, I've never seen this kind of human being in my life. That is trustworthy, that whenever he engages in business, he does not take what does not belong to him. Then, after some times, Khadija was not married then. No, according to some viewers, some people said she married before the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and some people said he was not married. You may ask me what of the Kulthum and Ruqayyah that was said that they are all her daughters. But according to some viewers, they were Ruqayyah and Kulthum. They are all her sister's daughters. When she lost her sister, then she was the one that they came under her care. That was how it is. No, it all depends. Then that is why I said according to some sources. Then that particular time Khadija was not married. Then somebody went to her, and this type of person that is so trustworthy, is so sincere, why he's not married also? Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you look for a way so that he can get married to you? The whole thing went smoothly. At the end of the day, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got married to who? To Khadija. And when the two souls meet, you should expect their offspring. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yes. When the two pious souls meet, Prophet Muhammad is a pious soul. Khadija was very nice, good woman even before Islam. That was why they were able to produce good souls from Fatima alayhi salam and others, their grandchildren. Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after the marriage, as we all know, he was commissioned as a prophet at the age of what? 40. Is that not so? That was the year he was commissioned as a prophet, at the age of 40. And this age of 40, when, before that time, we were told and we all heard that he used to go to Cave Hira to meditate and others. When the message came, there are wrong perception of our Sunni brothers. They said the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not even sure that he was a prophet when Jibril came to him. It is not true. Allah will never put his own prophet in doubt. Everything was made to be very clear before he was even commissioned as a prophet. Therefore, at the age of 40, when he got this message, first of all, there's no doubt, we are not doubting that the first person to believe in him was Imam Ali alayhi salam, followed by Khadija. Then they were practicing on their own until Almighty Allah told him with commandment, وَأَنذِرْ أَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. Islam is step by step. You don't just go to it once and you want to do it at once. It's not possible. If there's any personality that's supposed to do it, just do it. The day he started, do it and finish it. It was the Prophet, but it has to take the normal way of doing things, natural way of doing things. The step now is to call his nearby relations. And he went on. When Almighty Allah told him, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, warn your near relations. He called Imam Ali, said, Ya Ali, okay, I have been given this command. What you need to do now is that, please, go to the market, buy some things, and invite some of those our near relations. Imam Ali acted according to the instructions. And when they gathered, to the Prophet told them the first day, the first person that opposed was Abu Jahl. But that does not stop the Holy Prophet. The second time he called them and told them what Almighty Allah has brought to him. The third time when he called them, from there he told them that, okay, today I have been commissioned by Almighty Allah, and Allah has chosen me as his prophet. And today I need your support. And whenever you are going to any war, even if you are going to fail or you are not going to fail, you need commitment of your near relation. That is the first place of contact. Talk to them even if they will not believe you, even if they don't take what you are doing. They should not just be hearing it outside that, oh, do you heard what this man has brought to society? Let them hear it even if they will not believe. And that is the first step taken by Allah commanded the Holy Prophet to take. And when he took it, the third time, he said, okay, who will believe in me? So that he will be my successor, he will be the person to execute my will and all that. Everybody kept silence. Then Imam Ali raised up his hand. The Holy Prophet told him to put his hand down. He repeated it for the second time. Imam Ali raised up his hand. There was no response from others. Then the Holy Prophet told him to put his hand down. The third time, then the Holy Prophet said, okay, هذا وزيري وأخي ووصي من بعدي. This is my brother, this is somebody to execute my will, and this is my successor. That is why we always mention that successorship does not start on Gadir. It is just an official way of announcing to the entire world that day. If not the very day the Holy Prophet laid the foundation, that was the day the successorship started. Then the da'wah continued. When the da'wah continued, it got to a stage, they have to move to another step. And Almighty Allah came with the verse, Fasda bima tu'mar wa arid anil mushrikeen. Allah said, Fasda bima tu'mar, expose that you have been told. No more tekiya in this particular time now. No more hiding. Because before that time, even people come to see the Holy Prophet, they came hiding, everybody. But that time, Almighty Allah said, right now, it is the time for you to expose yourself. First that bimatoma, expose that which you have been commanded to do. Wa'arid anil mushrikeen, and turn away from all the mushrikeen. Forget about their plots. Don't listen to them. Then the Prophet has to take to the order. As you all know that whenever order comes, he is the first person to execute it. He has to go with the order. And you should know in this kind of case that when you try, there are certain times that when you try to execute some certain order, you must see negative consequence of it, of which it was not exceptional during the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Then those people that are not ready to listen to the da'wah of the Holy Prophet, they start fabricating lies against the Holy Prophet. He has come to destroy all your idols. He said all the idols that we have, it's only Allah, one. How can the Holy Prophet say only among the whole idols? أجعل الآلهة إلها واحدا إن هذا لشيء عجاب. He tried to compress all our idols into one. How? This is very surprising. All the idols we have, how can he say that we should only worship only one? It is not possible. They start making all their plots. The Sahabas start facing terrible situations. That was the reason, you see, the first hijrah that was done is because of the tension then. The Prophet knows that he doesn't have what it takes to fight them that time. He has to give order that some few ones that accepted Islam, they should migrate to where? Abyssinia, Ethiopia. They didn't stop there. When they arrived, when the Mushrikun heard that the Prophet had sent those ones to Abyssinia, they quickly also sent their squad to go and meet the king of Abyssinia to convince him that he should not accept them, he should drive them away. Then the king of Abyssinia said, no, I will not. They have not done anything, I have not seen anything wrong in them. Especially when they were Christians in Abyssinia, then the verse, the chapter of Surah to Maryam, then was read unto them. The man has to chill down because what he has had, he knows that this is not just for ordinary person. Careful how we are answered. It's that it narrates how the issue of Maryam, the issue of Jesus, and others. Then he told them categorically that he will not send them back to where?